Do that, right?
Yeah.
All right, now-
Here we are.
all right, Joe, can you hear us or did you leave?
Oh, here, he's back in. Hold on. You leave the here.
Joe,
Ask again.
minor technology. Joe, can you hear us?
I can now.
All right,
Okay.
don't move. Get right there.
Nope.
All right, we've just established there's a quorum, so I want to make a motion to approve the minutes or the agenda.
So move.
And Neville,
Oh, sorry about this.
somebody second?
Second.
All right, Tom seconded. Tom in favor?
Aye.
Connie,
Aye.
Jesse,
Aye.
Eleanor,
Aye.
Neville went that way. Joe?
Aye.
Okay, and I'm an aye. Neville, are you and I on the agenda?
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool. All right, the minutes, is there an
Deferred.
issue with the minute?
Deferred until.
Okay, so
next
minutes
meeting.
go over. Okay. Don't have any correspondence. What should be on here is, public comment, just add public comment every time after the minutes. Well, we don't run afoul.
He's one of those gonna be.
Now, there's one attendee. Mary, can you hear us?
Yeah, she,
Yes, I can now.
Right. All right, so we do have a member of the public. Did you have a comment that you wanted to make?
No,
Okay,
well, actually, I guess I do, which is, but I didn't come to the meeting to make a public comment, but the way that the agenda got posted to the agenda center. The formatting is totally messed up and it's not in. Just look at it, It's,
Lana, do you-
it's totally illegible at this point, so.
yeah, I've been sending it this way for years, so.
and Mary, I was able to print it off the calendar. What happened when you printed it?
I didn't print it, but do you know what I'm talking about? Where it looked like it was just. I'll just send you the direct link and you can see what it looks like. But anyway, I'm just here to follow along this year's applications.
Okay, this is sort of just a cursory review of these things. All right,
Linda,
will
can I
check-
just offer one piece of advice?
yeah,
So in my office, if you run it through Safari, you can't print from the town website. But if you open up in Chrome, you can print from the town website. So I don't know what Mary's using, but we had to kind of fix and fiddle and do all these other things, trying to find a way to use the town website properly.
yeah, and I print from Chrome also, so mine came out fine. But there's just so many problems with this
Mhm.
cheap thing that the town has, is that everybody's having trouble. ACC is having, as Connie knows, a terrible time with this thing. You can't get anywhere, can't do anything,
Mhm.
things are not there when you click on it.
Yeah, there was no packet for the ZBA the other day too.
Yeah, it's very odd.
There was just the agenda.
Yeah, because I got the packet, so she
And
sent
you're
it to me.
referring to
Can we go back
pages.
to our meeting, please?
Sorry.
It's just
Sorry.
crazy. But we gotta fix it if members of the public are gonna have a hard time getting into it while we go into our review process. Okay, thanks, Mary, for pointing that out. Fund requisition, we have one, NHA Candle Factory, 4,015,778.50 FY 25. That is for the back wall. They reconstructed back there and we support it. Somebody want to make that motion?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second,
Okay,
this is just a ratifying.
yeah,
Yes, it's already been done.
Tom,
Aye.
Connie,
Aye.
Jesse,
Aye.
Eleanor,
Aye.
Neville,
Yeah,
Joe,
Aye.
and myself. Great. Fund requisition, interfaith, these are Neville's, 19,883 FY 26. These are all coming as of July 1. Nantucket Interfaith, Richin, 21,675 FY 26. Anybody have any questions for Neville? Okay, somebody want to make a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Tom,
Aye.
Connie,
Aye.
Jesse,
Aye.
Eleanor,
Aye.
Neville,
Aye.
Joe,
Aye.
and myself. Great. No old business. New business. Now, we've got 20. The most we've had since, I'm not sure we've,
Prior to
last time we
COVID.
had 20 before
Yeah,
COVID.
private before we got.
That's been a long time since we've had 20 of them. And I guess there's over $8 million in ass. We have some pretty significant ones in there, and Tom, your group did come back with them.
My group name was.
And it's you, Shepherd, the other thing. Okay, so when we look at the spreadsheet, Eleanor, were there two that needed to move?
Yes, I would say that the Parks and Rec Little League Field reconstruction should go to open space, and I would say that Math Audubon Nantucket Sanctuaries should go to open space.
Okay, right now Nantucket Parks and Rec are at number 11, that should go to open space. What number was the other?
Yeah.
one?
And then the Mass Audubon,
Yeah, 15
15.
should go to open space.
Do we have, Madam Chair, do we have any, or Glenna, money brought forward from
That's what we're gonna look at.
unused, because there's a lot of open space this year. Of course, you know I care about that, so
Well,
care about it all, but.
we gotta look at that because we do have over $1 million in reserve, undesignated reserve.
Or-
We just, no, just undesignated reserve,
Okay.
because we always put money in there. Keep in mind that we have to put out at least 500,000 for the two bonds that are actually inactive use.
Right.
They haven't pulled the third one yet, and Brian told us that we could very well take 100,000 or whatever we want, start stockpiling into that third one if we feel that we need to. But right now, we know we got at least 500 grand coming off the top for affordable housing. And as far as affordable housing is concerned, we only have one, and that 400,000 asked is probably gonna be pretty much the 10% we gotta allocate to affordable housing on top of the 500,000 we have to put out. So I'll get that figure from Brian.
Sure.
Hard space, yes.
I know we get about 4 to 4.2 million every year usually. I'm guessing Brian hasn't let you know yet. Okay,
It's too early.
yeah, but
I'm gonna start having the conversation with Brian now. Because he knows pretty much what the interest was that came back and some of the other figures, and maybe the state has informed him.
Yeah.
It's our contribution that we don't really have a handle on, I expect at this point. I usually don't get that from him until like beginning of November.
Okay.
So I will ask Brian about it. Because he's all over this at this point. Most of it is historic preservation, which is amount of money. And open space, because we usually have 4 here and add 2 more. We've got 6 open space where we normally just maybe we get 1.
on,
Yeah, which was yours, the paddle tennis, the racquetball thing last year. So this is
2 million.
this is gonna be tough, guys. And your packets are too big to put in a little bag.
I
They're
managed.
like this. Did you go get
That was
yours?
just hope, that was more like one of
Pizza bag.
those, that you would have gotten
I
from
brought a-
Christmas tree shops, those really big oversized,
Yeah, you
tote
need,
bags.
you need
But it's
something.
really
yeah.
heavy. I'd put mine in one of those.
In
huge
a box, you
paper-
can bring a banker's box
This is the only
or
way to get it.
paper box,
But you'll have to go to the office.
I don't
because
have
Glenna
it.
can't drag them around.
you know.
may I stop by today? Okay, great.
Got them all in neat piles. All I gotta do is.
And bring it to you.
Same office.
Yes,
Yeah, at the moment. So. Is there any questions off the bat on any of this stuff?
Well, I have a question. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
appropriate at this time or not. Why was the date changed in terms of the deadline for bringing in the application?
We decided to do that because so many people were calling in crazed. We used to have it on the second Friday, way back when. And Labor Day, summer, craziness, everybody was so enthusiastic about moving it just 1 week later. You have no idea what the impact was because they already had lost that one weekend. And they were all jamming up against that Friday. And I spoke to several of them called Glenna. And it was like pandemonium. So we decided to, we set the deadline, not the state. So we decided to move it to the 13th to give everybody a breather after Labor Day and after the summer to actually get the stuff in. And still on Friday, what,
Yeah,
7 or
yeah.
8 came in on Friday?
yeah.
Because I've been checking all along and 7 or 8 came in on Friday. So everybody was very, very pleased and very thankful. You had no
So the
idea.
committee set the deadline? They did.
No, it was just set years
Passed.
ago by 10 at one point, because it had been the second Friday.
I missed what you said. I'm sorry.
10 said it. It had.
No,
to
no, I'm
be
talking about
Friday.
when the deadline was, when the date was changed. Who changed it? Did the
I
committee?
changed it with Glenna because of what was going on in the
but-
office. And Ken did it before that himself.
No, he did not. But
It
let me
used
just
to
say,
be the second Friday, Neville.
no, I'm gonna say something, okay? I know we're gonna knock heads. Every time we changed, we had a date, it was a committee's decision. That's like what, and because we talked about it extensively, about, we changed the date, I think twice since I've been here, and I've been here since we first started. Only 2 times. And one time was because something, when we changed it the first time, we had to extend it a couple of days for other people, just to be fair. And the second time we changed it. But it was always like a committee.
So do you want to
Committee
bounce these 8 people?
No, how can you do that now? I'm just
Okay.
saying, going forward,
Going forward, yes.
we're
We're gonna vote on
we
that
have to-
date in the
even if,
future.
even if you have to call the members and get the majority,
I can't do that. It's illegal.
okay, then you can't do it. You shouldn't do it.
We made an executive decision, which is within my right, and Glenna's right in the office. That's the end of it.
And I
No,
And I
it's
voted
not.
on it with you.
Hold on a second.
Joe?
Excuse me.
voted
me.
on it as well.
Yeah,
What?
excuse me.
Joe voted on
He said he voted on it as well.
Well, all I can tell you is that way back when, it was the second Friday, and then all of a sudden, it was the first Friday, and I never voted on that, Neville. Okay, and I mentioned it at the meeting, that when did it come to the first Friday? I
It's
never
always-
voted on that,
Whatever the date is that was always set was the date that we stuck with.
which was the second
Which was
Friday.
the date that we stuck with all the way to the end. If it happened where the date had to be changed, one time it had to be changed.
I
I'll tell
didn't
you
vote on
exactly
that.
what the situation was. I'll tell you exactly what the situation was at that time. Ken was the chairman and Richard Brannigan was the vice chair. I was in the office at that time.
Yeah,
And the person came in late from the land bank.
Yeah.
The person came in late, so they had to ask me at the meeting, what would I like the committee to do?
okay,
And because of the situation, I said, let her go with it. Let her have the date, let her bring her stuff in. And they said, then we decided as a committee, and I believe you were there, so if you don't remember,
I
as a
remember
committee,
very well.
since we did that, we should just extend it, I think it was a few more days, so everybody, and put a notice out, so everybody who was late, who wanted to get their thing in, can bring their stuff in.
and I'm telling you, when we
did it
first
as a
started
committee.
out, it was the second Friday of September. And all of a sudden, one year, Glenna may have just started. It was the first Friday of September, and I'm going, I never voted to do that, and I questioned it at the meeting. We've also extended it once after that for, was it the bell?
The bell,
The bell.
yeah.
Yeah, we extended for the bell. Well, here we are. You want to get rid of the 8 people that were like,
You're missing my whole point.
I got your
Madam
point.
Chairman, Madam
But we
Chairman,
had to
you're
do it
talking
this year
about
because
something
it
that
was
I am not
crazy
talking
town.
about. I am saying, going forward,
Going forward,
we
fine.
decide on a date, we stick with the date. If you change the date, the whole committee should be changing the date,
All
not
right, Glenna,
not an individual.
put that on the agenda for next month. We'll change it to the second Friday because it was a game changer. On top of the fact that the reason why I think Ken moved it back to the first Friday, I never voted on that. And it's been the first Friday ever since, probably for maybe 8 years, was because we had to put the warrant article in ourselves. And because we don't have to put the warrant article in ourselves, it goes in through the selectmen now after the debacle with the snow machine. Because we don't put it in ourselves, we don't have that same second week of November deadline that we had to get it in ourselves as a citizen's warrant article. So we're not necessarily tied to the rigid schedule that we had before, so we can work with everybody's schedules and vacation schedules for the fall. So that's just all I'm gonna say about that.
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
I would just briefly say that I think it was a good move to move it, but I also agree with Neville that we probably should have met and voted on that officially. But I don't, if it wasn't required, it wasn't required, and I agree with the decision you made to extend it in a tough situation. So moving
Thank you.
forward.
I also just wanted to add, Madam Chair, that, we put a lot of, promotional, language out there to say when the applications are being accepted. We spend a lot of money on advertising, and we accept applications from July 1st as soon as we're into the new fiscal year, we start accepting applications. And I started getting calls way back when.
Yeah.
And there were some people that came in July and I'm like, wow, I mean, that was great. And so I think that moving forward, we also need to emphasize to folks that you can bring your applications in
Anytime.
from July 1 all the way throughout the summer, because then, you're not kind of at the last minute bringing in applications on that Friday due date at 3:55.
They just can't avoid the fire drill, some of these people.
Yeah.
That's.
It just is.
Some folks work very early and I also had meetings with a lot of folks, and then I had a call on
That
Friday.
morning,
That morning, someone wanted to have a meeting with me that day to put their application together, and there was just no way. There was,
they got it in,
so,
but it
yeah.
was like, oh my God, do you want to meet with Glenna today? She said, no.
So, I mean,
But they
I
still
just
got
couldn't,
it
it was just too much going on that day, but I just think that we should impress upon the community moving forward that we really need to have everybody bring them in as soon as possible, from July 1st on, because then, I know everybody gets busy in August, and then, here comes a fire drill on the due date.
And I did, all of us who have applicants that are gonna reapply, I checked in with all of my guys and I said. And still, it was like Thursday, they got them. So
But Thursday's good.
Madam Chair, I think one thing, and maybe we can, I'll leave this up to the chair and vice chair to agenda it at some point, but I think one thing we could do to make it a little easier for applicants is discuss, right? The maybe going digital and not having the 10 copies and all that, because that would save our applicants a lot of time. Now that we may want that, right? And there may be reasons I haven't been here for years and years, and like a lot of the folks on the committee, but I think that would save people some time. So maybe that's something we can discuss.
I'm gonna address that when we get.
Okay, great.
Cause I already went through that with the town.
Right.
Okay, so you got your spreadsheets, Glenna will redo the.
I will move those two over to open space.
And when I
Those were
printed
kind of like
it, Glenna, the
the last
bottom,
minutes.
bottom disappeared, so I don't know what happened there. You might want to give yourself a bigger margin at the bottom of the page.
Oh, 16.
It's, yeah, it just sort of ran off the bottom of the
What
page.
continues?
Yeah, it continues on the next page for the notes.
Want to make sure I didn't miss something.
And everything is there.
Okay. That's it. Digest it. Go pick up your packets. It's gonna take you a year to read them. But don't bother with the 1099s and all that other stuff. Just,
We know.
yeah, because it's just, you have no idea how much some of this stuff has. It's nuts. And there's some big asks because they're finally going forward with the indoor field.
I didn't even see that. Where's indoor?
Multi-sport. That's what my understanding is. It's multi-sport. I've been talking to.
Devin Remix. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's only like,
it may be involved with that Nantucket community rink thing.
It's the rink district.
Yeah. There is that other movement, as you know, to do an indoor field somewhere. I don't think Tom Nevers is safe. That's another
I
side.
don't think CPC would, has enough money to cover that either.
And watch the money
That would
go
have
over
to
the,
be
Enterprise
Yeah.
zone.
go over the cliff.
Right.
land bank.
No.
Yeah, we're the only county, is my understanding, that does not have an
Can't do
indoor
indoor.
facility accessible. So we should probably have a bigger conversation about that. While we're talking about the at home and everything else.
Really needed.
Yeah.
Really
It
needed.
really is, because the kids need to get around. Calendar dates for interview sessions.
Yeah,
Mm. Everybody needs to get their packets.
but I need to know dates so that I can start scheduling
How does
that.
everybody's schedule look?
I'm out of the country in November, but.
We'll be
Try to get it
going
done
before that.
then.
But I'm in New Hampshire the first week or October 4th through the 11th. So do we want to get together?
Madam Chair, I'll just kick it off by saying, I'll try and make it whenever, just, I would ask not for on Wednesdays because of select board.
Select board.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but other than that, I'll do it around everyone else's schedule.
We've done Fridays before, we've done other days. We don't necessarily be strapped to Tuesdays.
Wednesday mornings are fine, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. We
Um,
usually do mornings anyway.
We have one more full week in September, which is next week.
Wow, it's already the end of September.
I know.
I've already seen the Halloween stuff at Dan's.
Oh, kind of.
Oh, God, it was the Stop and Shop.
How many applications did we have? Did you say
20.
we have many?
20.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is just sort of go over them, get your packets, take a look at them and see if there are things that have to be out because they just don't fit the,
What do you mean now?
we normally go through the list and find out if things are in or out.
Well, that's,
Oh.
first round deliberation,
First round.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because
But,
there may be something that doesn't actually fit under the act,
mhm.
or we figure we can't fund this year or whatever. Since we have.
So there'd be no point in interviewing them, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
So does anybody want to meet next week and start this process or? The following week, which is, the first is Wednesday, the first. Thursday, the second.
I think we should start sooner rather than later, because even if we do five at a time, maybe we'll do 7 at a time or so, I don't know,
We're
but
not gonna interview yet until we actually go through this whole thing.
yeah. But eventually, if the further we kick it, then the rest of the year is just gonna,
And what's
Yeah.
fortunate is that some of these, we already know. They can have 15 minutes.
Well, yeah, that's the standard.
Yeah.
We did
People, new
10
people.
minutes and then like 5-10 minutes for a Q&A, and then for the new people, we try to give them 15 to 20 minutes to flush out their.
If not a half hour, if it's
15,
complicated.
15.
So what's everybody's schedule next week? Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Neville, do you
Yeah,
have time?
I'm just gonna make a request. I would like us to make a request we not meet next week, but we start scheduling it thereafter. Give us a chance to read it, You know, we have that many, so give us a chance to like really read what we have. Cause I know there's gonna be a lot of discussion about it, so we'll be very well versed, in the applications. That's just my request.
Well, then that puts it over to Wednesday, the first.
Yeah.
Thursday, the second.
Well, September 30, we could do the week of September 29th, we could do the 30th.
That's a Tuesday. We could.
I would just have to make sure that, the meeting space is available. So the
Would-
sooner I have dates, the sooner I can
There's
book
very little
the
in here on
spaces.
Tuesday morning.
Worst case, I guess we can't just do Zoom. Yeah.
No, we can move over there, we can move there, yeah. So does everybody want to do it at 10 o'clock on the 30th? Joe, does that work?
Yeah, that works, or even the second and the third for me. Well,
I
if
can't do
she's
it.
gonna look for rooms, then let's give us options. I mean, one thing that Eleanor does really well is doodle dogs for meeting times, so.
I can never respond appropriately to that.
What is
I don't
Doodle
know.
Dog?
It's you hit the link and it sends you to a poll and you click your availability. It's very simple.
Somehow I mess it up every time they do that from the compound. He just calls me.
How long a time will we have at these meetings? Are we gonna give ourselves some time? Or
Are we gonna set it? We typically in past years, we've set it from 9 to about noon.
No, but it's.
Well, not 3
Nine.
hours on the first shot here. We
No,
gotta,
so it's-
Well,
we're
that's
starting
what
at-
it had been set at,
Yes.
9 to
Starting at
noon, but
10.
starting at 10, go to noon, just go 10 to noon.
Yeah, 2 hours is,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
plenty.
my functionality is not great after 2 hours.
I just remember that, I know that sometimes we got, I'm just gonna
We
say,
take
I'm gonna say it very
warnings.
quickly.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
I
take
mean,
long.
even if you just get the people that are not going to be on the application done. I mean, that's, check, done.
yeah,
Hmm.
but that's really not decided until
Right.
first round
That-
deliberation.
Yeah.
Like we have to go through, they have to
Experience that.
have their opportunity to come in and flush out their application, and then first round deliberations, that's when, we determine who's staying in for funding and who's not.
So this meeting will be interviewing?
No.
No.
No,
We'll
no.
just be going over them, looking at this, what's in, what's out, things like that, and if never wants that granular, I know Eleanor does a real good deep dive.
Hmm.
of contingency fees, and
I spoke to a
there's a
lot
lot
of
of
folks
stuff
about
that we
that.
don't fund.
Well, that's the reason why, Madam Chairman, that I'm saying, because I don't mean in a negative way, but I do know in the past, with all my experiences here, sometimes it gets very contentious around us. We want to take this one out. No, we have so we give ourselves one or more of those meetings usually went a long time. And it's usually, I would like us to go back to that. It usually was the first meeting, because everybody's got an opinion. And by the end of the meeting, we have it all locked in. These are the ones that we're gonna do. Because I'm sure people are sitting around and they want to say something. They don't say what they have to say. You know, everybody here comes from a different state of mind, and from a different place in their heads. That's like what we should be funding, what we shouldn't be funding. All
And,
things on, everybody should have a chance to express themselves.
and just for jollies, there's a bunch of small guys in here, and those we can dispense with right off the bat. We're gonna fund them fully. If, Eleanor, if you want to concentrate on the small guys and see if there's stuff that can be cut, but I doubt it on at least the two,
I'm not
and
gonna do that.
not this.
No, I don't want to be discriminating in any way, shape or form.
No,
Look at all of them,
I trust your judgment.
even I.
I trust your judgment.
Thank you.
I didn't really see any small guys.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Well,
of small-
I mean,
The 2 million.
Yeah, well, I do. I'm
That's a
talking
big
about,
guy.
I'm saying, I didn't see any.
No, we have
any-
nine, number nine and 10.
insignificant.
40 and 45,000.
9 and 10.
Yeah, I didn't see anything.
19 is relative.
9 and 10.
I didn't see anything insignificant.
Yeah,
Yeah, 19. We have some, you know, the ones that you get a bigger bang for the small amount of dollars. Those are the guys that, you know, we can just cut them right off the top. Say, yeah, sure. And we know we're gonna have to fund the affordable housing. So there are things that we really don't have to talk about right off the bat.
all right, so you're gonna look at.
October
availability-
30th from 10 to noon.
Well,
No, September.
Sorry, September, yes.
That would be in Halloween.
Oh, gosh, September 30th from 12 to noon.
Yeah.
10 to noon, sorry.
And to noon. And
But
if
you
you all
would be
wanna,
really good.
yeah, if you all wanna look at your schedules after, in October, as who's where. And November, who's where, because again, we're not tied to that second week of November deadline for citizens warrant articles anymore. So just sort of, and I'll find out from Brian exactly what's happening over there.
Does anyone know what their schedule is going to look like?
I'm traveling on Tuesday, October 6th, and we'll be back in the afternoon. I'm traveling.
on
I'm not here
October
that
6th?
first week at all.
Yeah, you're October 4th through 11th. October 6th, Eleanor away,
I think
and
it's-
Tom, no
Tom, what are
Wednesdays.
yours?
Tom just
Yeah,
said
I'll
no
do-
Wednesdays.
No, if we're doing in the morning, I'll make it. The 30th, we have strategic planning session for housing with the 4 regulatory boards. So like, that's gonna be a long day, but I'll do it. That's fine.
Am I involved? Concom?
No, it's select board, AHT, planning and Board of Health.
Okay. Well, you're away in November.
No,
Oh. Who said that?
I'm abroad for 10 days in November.
What are your dates?
I'll be gone the week of, in terms of when we meet, I'd be gone. November 10th through the 19th. One of those is a holiday, but the 11th is a holiday anyway, so.
We don't go in. You
So
go?
I could potentially log on. Tough.
I'm gone on the weekends, so I should.
Yeah, that's fine. Joe, do you know if you're going off island for any length of time?
Supposed to be in Austria this week, but I canceled it.
No,
Joe?
I'm not going anywhere. No,
Okay. And,
I'm basically here till December.
okay, we gotta check with Tim and we gotta check with John Schaefer. John's in Vermont a lot. But he can get on by Zoom. And we gotta check, he just got back from Vermont, correct?
Yeah.
So we gotta check with those two guys. Tim's usually okay on Tuesday, so something he must be off island. In Las Vegas. Right,
So the only date that we have now is just the,
September 30th.
and that's it.
Las
Okay.
Vegas guy.
the
All
only
right,
meeting on the calendar on the town's
Okay.
website for the 30th is what I mentioned before is not even on there, but it's at the same time, it's a different location, which is HDC. That's it. So there's nothing in the.
but you can
On
be
the
here on the
system.
30th.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, make it.
okay,
From 10 to noon.
all right, so that's where we are at the
All
moment.
right, I'll find out if the space is available. It's just because it's not up here doesn't mean that, you know, it's not
Yeah.
available. So I just want to confirm and I'll let everyone know.
Okay. Cool, we're gonna hold elections until everybody's here, that's the standard. And then the CPC office.
Yeah,
I met with Libby and what's his name?
Rick Sears.
Yeah, first time I've ever seen him. Libby, Rick Sears and Amanda for about an hour and a half. Last week. Was it last week? It's last week.
Mhm.
About moving the office. Cause we've been begging, Ken's been begging, we've all been begging. To get a space in the town. And they finally have a space. They're gonna put her in where my old office
Oh,
was.
God.
Who's her?
Yeah,
Who's her? Me,
Libby.
her?
yeah, you,
Okay.
our office, our office.
She doesn't like to be referred to as her,
Yeah.
especially in her presence. So,
I'm just going back to my conversation, Neville, it wasn't meant to
no, but I'm
reflect.
saying, I'm just telling you why she said that.
So- It's the office, Neville, not any particular individual. So they're gonna move us into 2 Chestnut? 4 Chestnut?
In town?
To
Yeah.
Chestnut. I think.
I know, no
So
parking, but I can get you a handicap thing.
I already have it.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
And you can park in those spaces or anywhere you want in
Yeah.
town except for a hydrant and a crosswalk, as long as you want. Okay, remember that. Cause that's where the problem occurs, is in the summer. And I told them that we're not moving until after we're done with the most of this stuff. So they're not even contemplating moving the office until after November 1st. Because it's just too disruptive. And they're going to then have a supervisor for our office, which was the bone of contention. I spoke at length with Stuart at the state. And under the act, they can't tell our staff what to do.
that's good.
They can supervise to the extent, right now, Amanda, who's in the personnel office. What do they call it?
HR director.
HR director. Signs off on Glenna's time cards. So it took the onus off about 70/30. Now, they understand that we pay her salary, we pay the office salary. We pay Glenna's insurance, we pay Glenna's vacation. We pay everything for our staff. They also understand that under the act, we cannot pay for another office's machine, paper, pens, nothing,
Mhm.
which is why we've been advocating for a standalone office. Which there isn't any space. There is one space, but Leslie refuses to have it in the building. There's a whole office space out there at 2 Fairgrounds that nobody's been in for 18 months.
You mean the way back?
Yeah,
I
not
think-
way back, no, right
Oh.
next to Andrew's office.
Oh, I don't know.
And nobody's agreeing to put our office there, which is strange. So Glenna's gonna go into an office with just Greg and Rick. And there is a meeting
Who's
space
Greg
there.
and Rick?
It's both.
Greg
assistant town
Tiverton
managers.
and Rick Sears.
Where is this office?
The old police station behind the
The old
information.
police station?
Yeah. There is,
Where the, next to where the sheriff is?
Yeah.
Is that
behind,
building?
yeah, in between the sheriff and the information bureau. It was the old police station back in the day. And I was appropriately located in the old cell. But, the problem is, I don't believe that building is handicap accessible, and we are handicap accessible where we are located at the moment. That's a problem.
Is that building warm in this, in the,
It
Yes,
can be
it's-
suffocatingly
yeah.
warm, believe me.
is it,
Yeah,
Yeah, we've,
Is it
we've met for,
clean?
we've met for select board executive there and a few times.
is it
in the-
clean?
Yeah.
Something,
It's clean.
they repainted it and they took all the mold out and redid the roof, and
I
I
know there was a lot
got
of
the
problems
windows
with it
changed.
a few years back.
Yeah, I got the windows changed out, so it should be much better than it used to be, because we were all dying in there.
Okay, if everybody's finished, I'd just like to tune in about this CPC office move. First of all, it's all disruptive.
Absolutely.
We just moved into the space that we're in 2 years ago.
We have a 5-year.
And we had been looking since Neville was in the office to move into a municipal building.
Mhm.
There was nothing. So we were at the Coffin School for about 5 years. And when we found this other space, because Coffin School wasn't really conducive to what we do in the office. It's an old building, it's a great building, but it's an old building. And so, a lot of times some of the things wouldn't function because of, the historic portion of it. And so we did find the space out at 7C Hannah Lane, and the person that owns it has a love for preservation, and so he gave us a great rate that he would not change for 5 years, so we have a 5-year lease standing. But back to it being disruptive, I'm listening to Linda say that, she spoke to town management, Rick Sears, Greg Tiverton, Amanda, all of them. No one spoke to me. It doesn't matter what time it happens, whether it's right after November or now or later. It's just really disruptive because we have files that are dated back to the inception. And we have a lot of credenzas, a lot of files, a lot of credenzas. It's moving everything again, because Kathy and I boxed everything up ourselves and we moved it out. And it's not that it can't be done, and I'm not saying that I can't do it. I'm just saying that it is very time consuming and we're just getting settled into this space good. And now it's like, oh, okay, well, we're gonna move you. But again, no one spoke to me about the space. I know where the space is, but I haven't gone in to see where I'm going to sit, where our files are going to go, how everything's gonna be set up. Like, there's been nothing, like no communication with me. And
Well, let me finish what the rest of the conversation was. I was very clear about the fact that those file cabinets are in our possession. They have tax information, they have all kinds of information in those file cabinets. We own the office furniture. Granted, the machine, the copy machine is on
The
lease.
Ricoh
We
machine,
can
yeah.
terminate that lease. But we have, these files have to go with us. They can't be shipped someplace else. They have to be with us because we have ongoing stuff that's over several years, like the church, all the churches have been going on for years. That stuff is all in those files. Now, they have said, to bring up the digital issue, is that we have to readjust and maybe doing it like the building department's going to be doing it all by digital. We do it by digital, so we don't have these massive packets. We don't have hard copies. We don't have all this crazy stuff going on, and it's a lot easier for them to just, here it is. So that did come up, and digitizing our old files is what I was after as well.
Yeah.
So that would reduce the number of file cabinets, that will reduce the amount of hard copy papers, because they're getting rid of all the hard copies at the building department.
They're not even gonna install them, they're just gonna shred them.
They're gone. Some of them are being scanned now. So those are the issues that I brought up. And I said, logistics are gonna be difficult for us. I said, we're gonna have to get the DPW to just pick up those file cabinets as they are without boxing anything up and take file cabinets,
That's a lot.
because we're not doing this crap again.
Well, they do that. You know, nothing.
Yeah, but they didn't
Not
do
for
it this
us.
time.
No,
They didn't do it for us because they came
they-
out of the conference school.
Can I just ask a basic question?
Yeah,
Why are we moving?
Yeah,
because we are the only one
Without,
in the state that is not in the town hierarchy.
Okay.
We're also one of the only ones that doesn't have a supervisor for administration parts of it. They can't tell her what to do, tell any employee of us, and I'm talking about another employee, they can't tell us that. Then our employee answers to us on process, policy, that type of thing. But as far as when the office is open, as far as time cards, there'll be a
vacation time.
supervisor. And they've chosen Christy Ferrantella. And you couldn't pick a more calm,
impressive.
nice, easy to work with person. And she's in the next office, but through the courtyard. She's right there at the first office in the town building. So if they had to pick somebody, that's fine. I did bring up the fact that she is in charge of a lot of the finances for us, for the trust. The trust is the one spending the money from the bonds. And she's the one who manages that. So I said she cannot ask Lena any questions about it, other than as an applicant for the trust. I said, there's a limit as to how far she can go. She can't go into the records. She can't do any of that stuff. Because they are a big time, and we have $15 million in bonds out to the housing trust.
Madam
So
Chair,
there were questions like that.
I wouldn't worry about that. Christy was a select board member. She is well aware
Yeah.
of conflict of interest.
Yeah.
That's not good. It's a total non-issue.
We were just worried that if she was Glenna's supervisor, there may be some crossover, and I made that very clear that that cannot be any crossover on that issue, that one issue. But
Well, I mean, all I would say is
Yeah, we
to
can just
this,
talk,
is the
not
first,
raise our
the
voice.
first person that should have been talked to is Glenn.
They did meet with Glenna,
No.
but not on this particular issue. No, they have to talk to us, they have to
No.
let us know, and they have to talk to the chairman, whoever the chairman is, because under the contract from way back when, our staff answers only to the chairman and the board, period. That means administratively and every other way possible. So now the town is taking ownership of the supervisory aspect of this, but nothing to do with what we do, when we do it, when we have a meeting or anything else that goes on. Okay, or when we ask Glenna to do something, nothing to do with the town. They cannot get involved. As I said before, my biggest issue, legally is that we're not paying for anybody else's paper. We're not paying for the lease of that machine. We are not commingling. Because it's come up as there's a case law, apparently. It's come up in someplace else in Massachusetts where the town tried to use money from CPC to fund the paper for another office. Not allowed. I have a DOR letter, which I gave to Libby and Amanda. There was a DOR letter that Stuart sent me saying, no. So I made that very clear. We're not paying for the lease for the town. Never.
Okay, a lot of words, and a lot of things are being said right now. Here I am sitting over here because I don't know anything about it. I am shocked.
That's why I'm bringing it up
Let me
now.
finish,
Neville. It
please.
was only last
Let me
week.
finish, let me finish. I am shocked. That I don't even know anything about this. And yet, and we're being, hold on, being told this is what's gonna be done.
I was told.
This is what, I don't think the town can do that. We are, we are state mandated. The other thing is, I love, Christine Ferrantella, but as a supervisor, they come to us for funds. I mean, that in itself, just the appearance of it. Just the appearance of it is way out of whack. You're talking about millions of dollars. And if you have a supervisor who's coming to you for funds and you're operating this and I am your supervisor, I need $1 million. How quickly will you say yes? I mean, I'm talking about just as a matter, as a matter of courtesy or what have you. This is your supervisor asking you for monies that you have, and and they're coming to you and say, like, this is what we need.
It's not really work that way. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah.
Different.
Copy machine, the RICO, as you stated, we're not going to be paying for paper,
Nothing.
copy supplies and things of that nature. Well, I think I have a bigger issue than just paper and the ink. If I am scanning documents, which sometimes I do have to do,
Right.
to Connie, Eleanor, whoever on the board, it does contain tax documents. And I would feel really leery about using a scanner that's on town property and that's owned by town property, because anytime you scan, it is in that system.
What do other CPCs do though, if they're sharing town offices?
He wasn't sure about the mechanics. And he said it's not necessarily normal that they are sharing office space. What has happened in the past is that some will share your 20 hours work for this office and your 20 hours works for a CPC in their office. He's not necessarily aware of mechanically how the space is divided. But I was very clear with him about this stuff.
I would also want locked filing.
Well, that
So
was
they
gonna be my
mentioned that
issue.
also, that we'd have to get locked file cabinets.
Well, our cabinets are, they do
Do
have
we have
locks
locks
on
out
them.
here?
Yeah, they do have locks on them, but, where
In a
would
locked
these
room.
files be, well, that's what I was gonna say, where would these files be held?
They're going with you.
I know,
Mhm.
but where with me, like, again, I haven't seen the space in terms
So
of,
you're not gonna go visit that space, because I know the space, obviously, because I was in that building for 8 years, but. I want to go look at the space and have a conversation with Greg, who's now in the cell. And Rick, or who else is Rick in there? Who's the other person in there?
Rick, I think it is.
Yeah.
Rick, I think he's in the little.
Just the two of them in
front.
there.
Yeah,
When I was in there
just
for a
the
meeting
two
the
of
other
them in
day.
there.
It's just,
And
it's
they're not there all the time.
a lot of space in there, but.
Can I say something?
Mini room in the back.
Even this is all in our act, to how the office is set up. and what it's to be used for, even though we don't use it like that. I have, when I was a member of the CPC prior to going to the office. I used to go in the office and they required us to have a table. For anybody, any member on the committee who wants to come in the office and work and look at all records, to have it there so they can have access to it. You know, does this office have that?
Yes, it does. There's a meeting room and a table.
Does this office have that kind of space?
Yes, it does.
Also, another thing.
Can't say much for the
Uh,
bathroom.
In the act, going, cause I don't think we had reached there yet, which probably should be there now. It was mandated that we had to have everything scanned. We had to put everything scanned, update everything, so everybody can have access to our files coming from the office. So everything should be scanned.
She does. She gets a digital,
Yeah.
Glenda gets a digital
thumb
thumb
drive.
Yeah,
drive
that's
of every
what I-
single application to put it on there.
And I have started scanning a lot
Yeah,
of.
that's what I'm talking about, all our old files, yes, prior to all that, I know that.
Well, our old files, they're willing to, we have enough money to pay to get them all digitized. And now that everybody else is doing the digitization, we can just bootstrap right with
What
everybody
do you mean
else.
they're willing to pay?
We're
have
paying
them?
for it. But it was a good idea to digitize all of our old files.
Right, which is
And we just
something that I
bootstrap right
started.
off the building department
doing.
because they're already doing it over there.
Yeah, but I don't want, so are you saying that they are to get these files in, they're going to be the ones that's actually digitizing them?
No, it goes to a
I'm not following.
secure. whatever
It's just not how it would work, like,
That's not how
it's
it
not
works.
like,
We don't do it.
yeah, I mean,
It's sent out to a company that does it.
right.
It's a contract.
Yeah. And they already
Can you tell
have,
us-
So
can
now
you
we're
tell us
sending out
how it
our-
works? You know, you wanna tell us how it works, can you tell us
we pay for it.
how
Right,
it
we
works?
pay for it, so now we're going to
Yeah.
send out our thumb drives to a
No,
contractor?
no. Our old
But that
files.
stuff's
sorry.
Well, that's what I mean,
Our old files were not digitized back then. We had hard copies.
But we have, I think it's always been, a part of the application submission that they have either a thumb drive or a disc, because back in the
Back
day,
in
it
the
was
day,
disc.
yes.
And I'm pretty sure every single one has a disc or a thumb drive
Not the
attached
first
to it.
15 years.
Oh, well, it's been,
No,
well,
The first. yes,
CPC has been
Yes, it is.
for
yeah.
24 years.
24 years, and I've been here for over 14 years,
And I've
so.
been here since 2000, so.
All right, either way, guys.
So
You gotta get rid
so
of
don't
the
say
paper.
things like that.
No, I don't,
You gotta get
I'm
rid of
not,
the
I'm
pa-
not
I don't care.
contesting the paper, I'm just
Either way,
saying, I
you gotta
know
get
we
rid of
do
the
have
paper.
it, but I'm just not comfortable sending it out to some contractor to have it done when we've been doing it in the office.
Okay, I think you'll be able to work with
We have
whatever
to
the
do it
process for that
logistically,
is.
whatever happens, happens.
I remember there was a
That's what we're going
CPC
to.
application, I forget who it was, but there was a professional company that comes in.
The town clerk.
The town clerk.
I deal with
Yeah,
Browns
and
River
they
all the time. It's got a
scanned
different
all
name.
that stuff.
Oh, that's my
Yeah.
project. It's Browns River.
Yeah.
The assessor's office is gonna start using Browns River because they have a pile of money from us.
Yeah,
Get those microfilms that go back to the 1880s. All those are gonna get done. So it's the same company in Connecticut and they do a spectacular job, as we've seen when, she brought her records in, Catherine
Mhm.
Stover brought those books in.
Right,
So there are established relationships with trustworthy entities.
Well, that's what they do.
Because if they send that town clerk stuff down there, we can send our stuff down there. But that's for a future thing,
mhm.
but it's just, that's a winter project, so to speak. So that's happening, but this is happening on administrative level, whether we like it or not.
So
Actually,
I
and they
just
do
have-
have the right to do that, because I've spoken to Stuart at length about all the aspects of this thing. But that was one thing that was very clear about, I'm not paying for one piece of paper for Greg or Sears,
Stu.
we can't do it.
But no, but Madam
Madam
Chair, no one is asking, no one, that has nothing to do with any, like, that would never happen.
But we're sharing a machine and an office, it will happen.
No, it's a good thing to bring up, but like, no one is like trying to take
No, but
ownership,
they
like,
need,
I
but they
just
need to
don't, like,
understand that there's
Like, I
a firewall
You
here.
can have codes, so there are departments that have codes. So
Yeah.
when Rick or whoever does their thing, you can do that with a machine, have departmental codes.
The other option was for them, is that they don't charge us for the machine and they don't charge us for the paper.
Well, that's the thing.
We're already under contract for the machine, we just signed a
Why can't you
contract
have two
last year.
machines?
Yeah, why can't
There's
we
no
have our own
room for
machine?
machines. They're
So
not-
there's no room for the
They will-
machine, but there's room
Already
for
have.
all of our files?
already-
So, let me just, And I just wanna, so, okay, so, Madam Chair, you are saying that we have no choice. This is what the town has decided that we will do, and this is not what's gonna be done.
The only
Is that
fly
what
in the
you're saying?
ointment is we locked into a 5-year contract for basically half the rental cost.
Less than half.
Yeah,
They
You
gave
might
us
be
a
happy
really
to get
good
out of
deal.
that. If you can get a full rent,
I did, well,
I don't know.
I don't know. So we gave Brian a copy of the lease to see where we are with this. Okay, and I do work for these guys. And I don't know how they're gonna take it.
You work
They
for
may
what
make
guys?
us
What
pay
guys
the
do you work-
arrears.
What guys are you talking about?
VTT, who owns that whole candle wick thing.
So I don't, yeah, please, spell it out.
PTT
I
management.
don't know.
And they own a lot of stuff in town. And they own the Nantucket Inn. And it's concerning that they may make us pay full boat for the 2 years we're there. And I'm gonna try to negotiate that we don't have to do that. But as I said,
For the
out
2
of
years that
all
we're
the
there?
ones in the state, we're the only ones that's not in a town entity where we have to pay no rent.
And don't mind that, I was gonna mention, from the very beginning, when CPC started, there were 5 towns. And Tillamook, my friend in Tillamook had it, he was a town employee, he decided to leave the town and go to work with CPC. And they gave him his office space that he had in the building. You know, he couldn't even get a staff, so he didn't even have a committee, so he was the one man, that's how he operated, like a one-man committee, a one-man thing, he didn't have a commission like we had, because nobody was interested. And he was very successful with it. So, you know, and I'm sure other towns have copied that and going on.
Our problem is, there's no space.
But,
I think that's been the
There's
issue for
space where
quite
she
some
is
time.
right now.
Well, right, and we're tied into it.
They're,
yeah, that's
they were not pleased that we were not on the town site either all these years.
Yeah,
Well, what's
So
the
now
next
we
step?
are.
Because
Now
we're
we-
going around in circles here and people have meetings to go to,
So
so.
I'm just waiting to see what they're gonna do next.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna leave here, no knowledge or anything, be going around in circles. It's a good thing to go around in circles in terms of this. This has never been brought up to us before. You know, like, just like you said, it. You didn't know anything about it. You didn't know anything about it. Tom, you know about it?
Well, I did know generally that this was coming. I mean, really what this is about is kind of the HR umbrella, right?
Yeah.
It is kind of bringing the CPC office into the HR umbrella and
Under
that every
administration.
other department or town employee has a supervisor for purposes of employment stuff, which is not my area and I don't want to opine and say something wrong. So, really I think the kind of Christy Ferranteller, the housing director, being the direct supervisor for this is not an issue because there are so many layers to CPC with town meeting and all that. And Christy is one of the best in town employees we have and is incredibly ethical and would never impress upon anything to do with the funding that we get. It's just completely separate.
But
So-
she will come and make a proposal to ask for funds. Do you
Yeah.
understand?
But that is so even if she did that and that
she's a
maybe,
supervisor.
maybe she'll have the chair do it. Maybe Brian Sullivan will
That's what
come
I'm
do it
saying.
and come and do it.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying, compromises like that, you know, in a situation where you're, the only person like, I know the chairman said something earlier, was very, very important, very important. She was saying the HR person. From the very beginning, there are 3 people who work close together in terms of this organization, that work close together with or without the board. And that was the chairperson, the HR person, and the person in the office.
Right,
That's who worked close together, those 3 people. And from the, when that was all set up, I forgot the lady that was in there
Amanda.
before. She went with the stage
Harris.
and everything, but
wow,
I was
Okay.
going into the office at that time. And she said, you don't have to speak to anybody, just me.
Mhm.
At that time, Ken was the chairman, you know, and you, that's it. For whatever it is, for your salaries, for this, for just everything dealing administratively. So that, I have no problems with that. But to have a supervisor on top of that, because I always considered HR, you know, the ultimate supervisor, for as far as the town goes. But now on top of that, you're talking about a supervisor to supervise the operations of the CPC. It wasn't set up for
That's
that.
not what this is.
Not what that is.
Then what is it?
What
Just
the-
Can,
Just for purposes of HR, which is time cards, office open, silly stuff like that. Simple stuff. They don't tell Glenna what to do.
I'm talking about Christy Fontella.
She doesn't tell Glenna what to do. either.
Why is she?
So Amanda can stop doing it,
So
because
Amanda-
normally that's not the way things go. So Christy will sign off on the time card instead of Amanda. You get away from Amanda's office.
Yeah, this is
People
something
sign
that
off.
every other town employee
Yeah,
has.
and
It's just-
every-
it's just to bring it in line.
Every other
And
town.
every CPC in the
No,
state has.
No, Linda, you are wrong. Don't say those things.
Well, then call Stuart a liar.
Yeah, I'm not calling Stuart a liar. I'm working.
Because he said this is a very,
I
this is
will
the
call
only
Stuart.
one in the state
I will
that
call
is like
Stuart.
this, the only
Tell
one.
me exactly what you said, and he said, and I will find out exactly what it is. You cannot just throw stuff out there.
What?
okay, so, going back to what Tom said, this is kind of putting, everything under the HR umbrella, so to speak.
Well, it's taking it away from HR and giving it to Christie instead.
Well, but he
Yeah.
did say under the HR umbrella, so.
I mean, as far as process goes.
Sure,
Correct.
so, and then back to what you said, Madam Chair, is that, CPC pays for everything for staff, whether it's me or another person, it's everything for the staff. So the supervisor does not manage the workflow,
No,
or give directions on daily tasks.
no.
It's only for personnel practices, because I had a very lengthy 2 conversations with Stuart as well. And so for personnel practices, meaning, I guess, signing off on timesheets,
When are you in the office?
When I'm-
When you're not in the
right.
office, that kind of stuff.
taking vacation time,
Yeah.
or, time off. So it's just the personnel practices. It's not any interaction with what I'm doing. But then to what Neville said, I can see, and I understand what you're saying also, Tom, that there's a lot of layers. But if someone from that office is coming in, whether it's Rick Sears or Greg Tibnan or Chrissy Ferrantella, and they're submitting an application, that's kind of where there's an overflow, and maybe boundaries are crossed a little, because I'm right there. And that's the other thing. I'm right there in the same office with them. And
Those two don't submit applications.
okay, well, one of the other things is, as we all know, this spreadsheet that I do every year, this is not public until, it's public information, but it's really not made public until the board has voted on it and made it public. And I think that would also, kind of create some kind of a confidentiality breach in terms of people that want to come in and be private and have conversations with me if other people are in the office or in that building.
I brought that up, so you know.
Good point there.
I said, we're not gonna have people come in that open office with the other guys in the building and have these private conversations that they're privy to. We cannot do that. So I said, where can we isolate where Glenna can have these conversations with people? And they said, in the conference room. But as far as I remember being in that building, there are no privacy doors in that conference room.
There is.
There's one in the hallway, but
We've
not the
had-
one on this side.
We've had a select board executive session on very sensitive legal matters in there. It's
Their doors.
totally fine.
And it's not always readily available.
No, no, that room isn't, committees don't
It
use
isn't
that.
assigned out.
Yeah,
But
they
can-
don't.
may I, what private information are we talking about? We are a public entity and also the committee decides everything.
We
Like,
do.
Well, that's
This is in my email,
Yeah.
which is a public record and FOIA-able.
No,
So
he
like,
was saying that people would come in from the public that want to have a conversation with Glenna without these ears. Reporting back what people are
the
saying.
assistant town managers.
Yeah,
but
that's what she
I mean,
said.
here's the point. I don't think there is any issue with conflict of interests. It's just a bad look. And when you have somebody, we all trust Christina. I have no worries. She is the best person for
Yeah.
the job. You are so lucky
We
to
had
be
to
able
pick
to
on
have her as a
Chrissy.
supervisor.
Yeah.
But isn't that simply avoidable by having someone else represent for the housing
Yeah,
authority?
good, Brian would bring it in.
I mean, there you go, problem solved.
Brian,
Brian Turbot.
There's like four
Sullivan.
steps to
Brian
get
Sullivan.
like that. I just don't.
He's the chairman.
Oh, I
of the
thought you said
trust.
Brian Turbot.
I mean, if I was somebody looking from the outside and didn't know town politics and saw that going on, that I may think, something smells kind of funny here. I mean.
I don't
okay.
think,
Well, I don't have a problem.
Okay.
hold on, I don't think so.
That's an
I don't think
outrageous
so.
assertion,
Yeah.
that something would be going, like, that's just not.
I'm not saying I have that. But what I'm saying is, I think that someone could see that way.
I don't think, the reason I don't think so, the
And-
only.
And
I
but
don't like
at the same time,
issue.
isn't that a bit easily addressable?
Yeah,
I don't
just
think
goes in, she goes in.
To my
Glenda
point
goes
is
into
that
the
I don't think it's a
conference room.
problem. I don't think it's a problem, Christine being a supervisor, if we just change a couple small things, so it doesn't seem. So it doesn't look the way it does from an outside perspective.
How does it look to an outside perspective?
Well, what was Neville was saying about, you having somebody that is asking for millions of dollars, that is your supervisor.
I brought this up, Jesse,
I
and
mean,
I agree with Tom. It may look weird,
that's what I'm saying.
but when they come,
It's-
but when they come in here for that money, it's Brian Turbot and it's Brian Sullivan. Period. Christie doesn't cross that line, period. She's just the administrator for the housing trust. I know, I started the housing trust. There is no crossover there. It just, and I don't think it's gonna look weird because Christie's not in that office. She's in the main building, so
I
there's
don't,
not, she's
I
not actually
personally
in
don't
the
have
office.
any problem with it,
Okay.
and I personally would, I think we would be blessed to have her as a supervisor.
My only issue, Tom, is if she's having a conversation with an applicant, she's got two people overseeing her conversation with that applicant, and that's not right.
From their own offices?
Yes, well, the office is 5 feet away from her desk. She's in the open office. She's not in an office. She's in that open reception area.
Use the conference room.
That's what I'm saying. Go to the conference room.
It's a wonderful thing that we have this committee. It's interesting because when the committee was formed, the different boards and different commissions in the town that was required to be here. I was telling, I forgot to tell you, that it was not the HGC, it was another historic group. But the HGC came because that group wasn't working. But the groups that was here is what made it interesting to me. And at that time, I was on Park and Rec. I asked Park and Rec, can I go there? Because they were so different, so varied. Some of our meetings got so contentious that we were in this building or whatever building. People would come and look on the door because they would hear us yelling and screaming. When we walked out of that room, we were all together. We were all one. But we had strong opinions about what we were doing with taxpayer dollars. It was formed, one of the reasons why I liked it when we talked about it in the town meeting, was this was something that was done in the state and it was sent down to the town. So ask the people in the town, are you willing to do this? 1%, 2%, or 3%? What different categories are you interested in? And that's how it came. And this was, and I thought we were doing work that really the town, if the town was doing it, it would get very bureaucratic, whereas we can do it right away. We have guidelines for these groups to come in and do these projects, oversee these projects. They come and they let us know about it. And we have all the expertise from all the different commissions and stuff on our 9-member committee. You know, who can give advice and all of that stuff.
Okay, that was then.
Now,
Now we're
please let me
here.
finish.
Now we're
Then
here.
I have 2 minutes. You go on, you go on.
We have people that
That
wanna
is
go
the
to
reason,
meetings.
that is the reason why I came on this committee. Because we were operating outside of the town, normal
Aren't you glad?
things of operation. You know, not to like make anything like seem like, hey, this one is stealing from that, none of those things.
Okay,
And I understand, you know, you're a select board member. So I understand, you know, if you get the thing, but don't get upset about it because that's not where we're coming from.
No, I'm not
It's
getting,
almost- You know where I'm coming from? We're losing our independence.
Yeah.
CPC is gonna
Yeah,
lose its
but-
we're
independence.
not
But that's
losing
the
our
point is-
independence.
I'm not speaking to you, I'm speaking to another member.
Excuse me,
I'm speaking to another member over here,
through the chair.
through the chair. But you
I'm
cannot
Make
tell
a
me,
motion to adjourn, but
Yeah.
Joe's not up there.
you can't tell me what to do.
Motion to adjourn, you have a meeting. Jesse
we
has a
still
meeting.
have other things on the agenda.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
The CPC personnel, I
Where's
had
that?
some notes.
Oh, I see the rest.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, may I make one final comment, just to kind of tie it away?
We have 1, 2, 3, Or five, okay. Diana,
No, I hear you. And I really don't think much is gonna change. This is administrative in the widest sense, to do with HR stuff. Yeah, everything else is basically gonna be, I know the office and that is a hassle to, I understand all that. But other than that, I really don't see much to change here, but this is something we should, you can come back and report. Chair can put it on the, chair and vice chair can put it on the agenda and we can continue talking about it. If there are
We'll keep
any
it on the
issues, I'm
agenda.
happy to
Yeah.
help in any way I can.
we'll keep it on the agenda every
Okay.
month.
I like to see this space and where I'm going to be.
You and I can go visit.
My question to you, Tom, is how many offices or anybody, how many offices are in that
There's those two
space?
guys. and
No,
they
but
have
how
their
many,
own
how many
space.
offices are in there? Is it 2 offices? Is it 3 offices?
It's 2 offices with a door,
Yeah.
2 small ones on the left. And then as you walk in, there's a whole big space here.
Oh, I know
And
that
then there's
big
a big
open
space
space.
right behind it. There's no
Right.
office there. That's all
Okay.
our use, because that's probably where our file cabinets are gonna go.
Okay.
So it's just those 2 guys and you, and they're not in there very often.
Yeah.
And when they're having a conversation about town stuff, those doors are closed.
Is it soundproof?
I'd like to bomb the building, but I just got new windows in it. But
Okay.
it's a safe space. My worry was where you were gonna park, and if you already have one of those things,
Yeah, I have
I'm
my placard. I'm
good,
all set
because
with
otherwise
that.
I'm gonna get you one of those
Yeah, no,
things.
I'm good with that.
Okay,
So
that's the
Can we-
story, and I'll
alright.
keep it on the agenda every month.
every month.
For the record, I think, things, may change, but I think they may change for the better. Christine's an amazing person and she can be very helpful for you.
Mhm.
And I just don't think it's absurd to think that, other people are gonna be looking at it from a different.
Just human opinion, I guess, I mean.
Well,
But we vote on
It can
everything.
happen.
So Christie,
She can't do
that
anything
set
like
aside,
that.
no matter who it is, we
Yeah.
vote.
Right.
We
Yeah.
have the vote,
Yeah.
and then town meeting has the
Okay.
vote.
So, the other thing that was on here, Madam Chair, the
Yep.
CPC personnel, which is, something that I wanted to speak on. So, I know that most of you, if not all of you, are working in a volunteer capacity, and I really appreciate that, because I know the amount of work that goes into each application. With that being said, I've been working in a dual role since Kathy left, and that's overseeing the entire office, all aspects of the office. And while it may be in my job description, this position has evolved so much from when it started over 20 years ago. We have over 350 projects. I did a very dense CP3 report. A lot of those reports, or a lot of those projects may be closed now, but we funded over 350 projects, that total over $60 million. When I look at what I'm doing versus what the CPC personnel is doing in Boston, because they were the ones that was closest to what we've done in the past. They funded over 250 projects, and I forget what the actual dollar amount was, but at the same token, I'm overseeing just as much as she's overseeing this CPC director, and she has a staff of 7, and she has a whole entire CPC committee, just like we do.
Sure.
And it's just me. And I've asked, and now I'm asking, I'm coming to the board for support to have a reassessment of my role as CPC administrator to a promotional level. I did speak with the coalition up in Boston, and when they found out that I was the only one in the office at this point, they said to me, "Oh, so you got a promotion?" And I said, "Well, no." And so that's where this all started. I have a commitment to Nantucket community and the relationships that I've developed with so many of the applicants over the year. And I could name a few that I've helped put their packet together just by phone conversations or just by meetings in person. But I don't want to put them on the spot, but I would urge you, anybody from this board, to speak to any one of the applications or the not-for-profit organizations that we funded over the years, to speak to them and ask them what their interaction is with me. And again, this has been for almost 15 years now, and I've been dedicated to this board. And so I am looking to to move up in my role or to at least have it change and, with a, promotion.
Well, just so you know, I brought this up. I said, we had Kathy was doing her 18 hours a week or whatever she could as a retiree from the town. And she was doing a very particular job. And Glenn was doing the rest of it. And I brought it up and I said, we have the money to have two people in this office, so it's always covered. Whether if Glenn is out for something or that other person's there or whatever, just even part-time, take care of some of the, the vouchers and stuff like that. And they said, no. And I said, well, we have the money to do that. And I said, we pay the salaries. And she said, well, let's move and see how it goes first, and then we'll have another conversation about it. But I have had this conversation with them about this.
So why are they telling us?
It's a good question, because
Because-
I'm not dead in the water with the town about this issue at all.
Well, here's another thing, Madam Chair. Again, since I've been here, it's always been through the chair and or the board. When,
Because both of you, and then we hired Kathy when Neville retired. And
right,
so it's been evolving for years. It was a one-person job for a long time because we had a lot of money and not that many applicants.
right.
But then as it evolved over time, and two people were necessary, and then it evolved again and it evolved again, and then we got into Munis and we got into the voucher system and we got into all this other stuff that goes on. And it's in the monthly DOR reports and this, that, and the other thing. So it may require Joe and I and you sitting down with Amanda to
I
take a look at it. I know you've done it by yourself.
For 2 hours, they came and sat out at my office
Yeah.
and I went over
And you didn't get
everything.
anywhere with them.
No, I know that. But, again, the board has always been, the folks that decided, well, really, it was the chair. But then I remember one time, it was brought to the board and not much happened then, but, that was a few years ago.
Right.
But again, it's not that I can't do everything because I have been doing everything. And my question is, why is it that they, as you pointed out, Madam Chair, are willing to hire another person and pay them, but not willing to give me a promotion for the work that I'm already doing?
Well, the answer to that in their short form, the answer to that is that it's part of your job description and it's not really a step up.
But it
That's
is a
what they've
step up. I've had that conversation, well, it
And they
was in
keep
the
saying
email.
that to me too.
But it's evolved, and while it's in my job description, I did not oversee the whole bulk of Munis.
I hate.
Kathy did that.
Right.
So Kathy left, and since October, I've been doing everything from Munis to annual public forum, to application intake, to office files. I mean, I can go on and
Right.
on, but I've been
Well, we
doing
gotta-
this.
To finesse this at the moment, because you and I aren't gonna solve it for them at the moment, is that maybe you and I and Joe and Amanda sit down and have that conversation. Is everybody okay with that?
Well, Madam Chair,
Is everybody okay with that?
I'm not.
yeah,
Well, what do you want to do? We gotta work with this with the town.
Yeah, but see, well, okay,
what I
Is
was
there-
going
is
to
it-
say,
go ahead.
Is it possible to make it part of the agenda so we all have a conversation?
Well, I'm saying,
about it?
keep these things on the agenda
right,
again
And-
at every
and then-
meeting.
And then as a group, as a whole, we can bring it up to the town.
No, it can't be all of us meeting with the town.
Well, no,
Well-
but our whatever
Desires.
desire,
Right.
you know.
Madam Chair, so going back to what I was saying earlier, that it always went through the chair. And so I am happy to meet with
I'm not
you,
making that decision by myself.
and Joe. The three of us sit down and, kind of flush everything out and see where we are. And then,
Then go.
right, and then go to, the town. I mean, that's the way it's been done before, but the town didn't have the final decision. The final decision came through the board,
Because we're
yes.
paying for it.
Yeah,
Right.
that sounds.
But
that sounds-
though this is something that
They
I did
just
bring up
processed
and
it
I just kept pushing it
before.
and they were not having it. They said the same thing to you that said to me. But we'll have to come at it with a united front instead.
Well, can I ask a question, Glenn?
Yeah.
Sure.
Would you, I fully understand and support your, and, of course, your 100% within your rights, given the increase in duties that you've taken on since Kathy left. But would you, if you had your druthers, would you rather have a part-time person to come back, a competent part-time person to come help you with all of that stuff that you've taken on since Kathy left? Or would you rather continue to do it on your own?
I would rather continue to do it the way that I have been doing it. I haven't had any major issues. You know, Munis is Munis. And so of course, early on, there were some little snippets and some things that I had to clean up because when you transition from one person to another, you know, there's a different working style. And so with that, I've had to, you know, learn some things, but I wouldn't want another person in the office at this time. If, you know, maybe if this move happens or when this move happens, just like a basic, like a receptionist, something like that, someone that can answer phones if I take time off, which I really haven't taken time off and without considering what's going on with CPC. But I probably should start doing that. But yeah, I'm pretty much, I'm always available to people that are in the community and even outside of the community because I get calls from, we're the oldest CPC in the state.
There are three of us that are that old, yeah.
Very old. Well, I get all the calls from all the other towns. Oh, what are you doing with this? And how do you do this? And so, I don't think that a new person could take on that role or even the role that Kathy did because Munis is very dense and I'm still
Oh.
learning. So, I mean, if it were, it would be like, I don't know, a college kid or, well, I
Too
shouldn't
late,
say
I
that,
guess.
but someone who was just like a receptionist at best.
Well, we wouldn't want to waste money on that. Do
Right,
you have any?
because
comments
I'm
about this?
always.
No, I would, you know, if something comes to the committee, I'll consider it in my role as a select board member, but HR stuff, that is, I stay out of that.
Yeah,
Not
HR
my,
stuff is always a quagmire.
not my role.
Any comments from you? You've been quiet. You're good taking it all in, aren't you?
I am.
All right, two people have missed their meetings and I have to go up to the hospital for some tests, so we've got to get out of here. If somebody want to make a motion to adjourn and,
So you're gonna keep that on the agenda?
yeah, just keep it on the agenda, 11:24.
So our next regular meeting, October 21st, and we're gonna see about meeting September 30th.
September 30th.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll reach out to everyone to make sure they're available.
Okay, so somebody make a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Madam Chair.
All right, Tom made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right.